greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take what resonates and please leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, simply email me. I will hook you up. Tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. It's a good idea to have an empty cup when you're on this channel and you really want to see what's up. The two Galactic Nations card deck I have on today, I have 18. Okay, the Syrians. It says artistic integrity and honest. Artistic integrity and honest. So this could be the energy that you are in, or this could be the energy that people see you as. Someone very artistic, you have a lot of integrity, and people may call you honest, okay? You could be someone that people trust in, confide in. You could have maybe total strangers confiding in you. You could question yourself, why are they always coming to me? Well, it's your energy, it's your aura, okay? Confirmation with that belch there. Next card we have here is the Thai Sathians. It says resilient, bold, and sassy. So you are seen, if you're not feeling this way, collective, as someone who is resilient, bold, and sassy, and someone who is honest as well, okay? People look at you as you're a leader. There could be people having, positive talk about you that you're unaware of. Not that you're searching for it, not that you need it in order to be happy, but there could be a lot of positive energy, just being spoken about you and who you are. This could be in your family, in a friend group, in a community, in your church, okay, in the workplace. There's a lot of positive things being said about you. And this is not because you're brown nosing or you're naive, or an oblivious person to life, or you're a pretender. This is simply who you are in your natural state, in your natural way of being, okay? Some people like it and some people love it. Okay. You have that energy where when people meet you, they either love it or they hate it. And if they're choosing to hate it and they don't know you, it's simply because, they're jealous of you. They don't have, if a person doesn't know you, they have no reason to hate someone who is in this energy, who's very direct, who's very well respected and trusted and known as to be an honest person. So whenever you come across someone who's unfamiliar with you or they don't know you, and if they choose to give off an energy as if they have, not a liking for you, Spirit is saying for you not to internalize that. Everyone isn't for you and you're not for everyone. And that applies to all of us. And so everyone does not have to be in agreement with who you are. The only thing that matters is that you and your source, whomever you refer to, when it comes to your belief system, source, God, the universe, whatever your belief system is, all are welcome on this channel. As long as you love you, okay, you do not need the approval of those outside of you, but you're very well respected and you are admired. And so you have an aura, a light about you that is very intimidating, and it's a natural thing. It's not a fake thing. It's not a put on. You could be very intellectually intelligent, okay? All right. You could be someone who's very adaptable to a variety of, different conversations. You're very wise. Okay. You enjoy learning. And so you could be hanging out possibly with a group of friends, and you could have maybe a friend or two or someone in the group would side eye you because maybe you're picking up on the conversation that's being held, or maybe you're able to navigate and communicate in different rooms and spaces and places that other people aren't able to communicate as well or as efficient as you are. You're very knowledgeable. You're very smart and very wise. Okay. And so you're in this energy and this authority because this is something that you have earned. You love learning. So therefore, you're someone who leaves your mind open to learn new things. Okay. If a person is closed off or negative when it comes to learning something new or finding anything, period. If a person is closed off to learning anything new, well, they will not learn nothing new, and you cannot make anyone learn anything. I'm also picking up that you love to read as well. You could be a book lover, okay? Whether it's reading audio books or ebooks online, whether you're purchasing books, whether you're hanging out at a library, okay? This is something that you love to do. That thing that people call a nerd, or you're square. These are things that you love to do, and it has allowed you to be able to move around, and move around without stagnation and also put you in a position of being very resourceful and self-efficient when it comes to living your life. So people also see you as someone who's able to overcome many obstacles. There could be people who have observed you, maybe in your family, maybe friends, and they look at you now and they say, wow, look at the collective. They come a long ways. I can't believe after all the collective has been through, they look great. Wow, the collective does not look like what they've been through. How do they do it? It's like magic. And so, like Spirit is saying, some love it or they hate it, okay? But the ones who hate it, that has nothing to do with you. That's a them problem and it's personal. So let it be, okay? It's part of the polarity of life. Let it be. Everybody is not for you, collective. But do not, excuse me, let it disturb your groove. Let it disturb your move. Those who, are for you, they will be around. And those who aren't, they will fall to the side. And so Spirit is saying, honor and respect the gift of separation. When people show you who you are, as the words of great Maya Angelou, believe them and appreciate it. Don't become angry because everyone cannot go along with you on your journey in life. Everyone is not meant to stay in your life forever, periodically. Okay, we all have a time we're going to perish off earth. No one knows. Okay, all right, no one knows. We're here on a mission to fulfill our duties, and the path is different for each and every one of us. Okay, so the fact that we have free will, and we go through constant rebirths, learning lessons and growing. You're someone who you do not resist judgment when it is being taken, when it's taking place in your life, and that's what is carrying you along. This is what is making you very prosperous, very productive in life. You're well respected, and liked by many, even though you have a few haters, because I'm picking up on that. But you're also well respected and liked by many as well, okay? So never mind the naysayers, okay? They're NPCs. They're non-playable characters, okay? In your video game, okay? They're just in the background. They have nothing in their arsenal. They don't have weapons. They have nothing. They can't touch you. So don't let it fly. Spirit is saying, don't let them fade you. Okay, don't let them fade you. Okay, not at all. Not at all. Okay. So this is simply what it is. You keep, like having a makeover. You keep, jumping over hurdles. It's like you're born again. You keep reinventing yourself. Okay. You keep reinventing yourself. You're letting go of things that don't serve you, and you're doing it constantly. It's not that your life is perfect. You're someone who experiences life, and when you recognize something isn't for you, you simply let it go. And this is whether it's a relationship, a job, a hangout. It could be a restaurant. Hey, maybe you don't like their food. And you like, look, you know what? I ain't coming here no more. They don't use garlic or whatever. They didn't put butter on my bread. Whenever something, isn't to your liking, it's not your vibe or your tribe, you simply move on. You're not someone to try to hang on to what doesn't serve you. And you're not someone that is projecting negative energy. And so that's what is pushing you and making you successful in your path. And people are looking with their jaws dropping, mouths wide open. Okay. And so I have to cover this one up. Ooh. We have the lover's energy here. So you could also have a very positive, loving, nurturing relationship as well. Okay. People could feel that you're so attractive and you're so smart and wise that you're someone who can choose who you want to date. I'm hearing you have many choices, okay? Not because you're flitty, it's because you're able to attract the what you desire, the spouses, the life, the job. You're in that energy. You know how to work your magic. You're tapped in. Once again, you are not resisting judgment. When it presents itself, and Source saying, okay, it's time to pivot this way. You're like, okay. Even though you may struggle a bit, it's not easy. You're like, okay, well, Spirit said pivot, let me pivot, and in return for that, you're back in the flow of things. You may date someone and maybe you find out they're not being honest with you. And then you say, okay, you're not for me, let me let you go. And then you're back in the flow of things. Okay, so you're doing that consistently. And that's your magic. That's what you're doing. Many people live a life and they're in resistance when they know something is not for them. They choose to stay, and they stay in this energy of the Seven of Swords, that deceitful betrayal energy, staying in a relationship that does not serve them, whether this is romantic, whether it's a friendship, you see the hands behind the back, hoping to cross someone, plan, plotting, strategizing to be deceitful. That's the Seven of Swords is not a healthy energy here. And so most people grow comfort in this kind of energy. Most people love to saturate themselves in chaotic energy. They love unhealthy connections. And if you present them with the possibility of having a healthy connection, they look at you and give you the fish eye. What do you mean? I love this terrible relationship I'm in. I'm not leaving it. But then they'll look at you down the line like everyone calling them honest and saying they have integrity. How could they? Because they are constantly removing and releasing what does not resonate for them. Though it's not easy. Okay? It's not easy. But you're not refusing, you're not hanging on to what doesn't fit for you, because why make yourself miserable, and why self-inflict stagnation and blockages in your life? Because that's all that it is. I don't care if you're in a relationship where maybe you're with someone who's wealthy, or financially comfortable. Maybe this person is providing for you. Maybe you live a very posh lifestyle, where you have a lot of money. You don't know how good it can get until you release what you had. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who think they really got it going on. So they'll stay in a connection, they'll give themselves all these excuses of why they should stay, but they're really unhappy, not knowing that if you choose to let go what doesn't serve you, what you thought you're going to be missing will be given to you plus 10. The source will give that to you plus 10. You can have your own money. You can have your own abundance. You can have your own prosperity and not have to kiss anybody's behind or be with somebody for survival reasons because you're afraid to be alone, or you feel you can't drive a certain car, or you feel you're going to have to start all over dating. We tell ourselves all these childish, infantile, foolish things to stay in a healthy connection. And I see you not doing this, not just with romantic relationships, but even with friendships, even with family members, even with jobs and careers. Okay. I'm also picking up, you could have had many of different types of jobs. Okay. Someone who's probably worked in an office setting, in a corporate setting before. You've probably also done factory work as well. Okay. But you're constantly finding another job and another job and another, and people are looking like, wait a minute, didn't the collective just was working at the factory down the hall? Wait a minute, wasn't the collective just have a corporate job when I seen him wearing a suit the other day? Okay, but you keep making it happen. Okay, so you're learning the experiences, these karmic lessons, and you're moving forward. There's nothing more and there's nothing less. And that's why you keep finding the balance. You keep finding the reciprocity. Doesn't matter how many times you're doing it, you're fulfilling your contract, you're fulfilling your mission. And it's different for each and every one of us here on the planet Earth. We can never ever imitate or duplicate each other's lives. Though many try to, it's all a waste of time. We are all individually, uniquely, divinely created. We have our own mission. No two humans are alike, okay? So none of us could ever compete where we can't compare because we're all different, okay? And it's supposed to be that way, okay? And so the next card I have here is the Three of Cups. And this is you gathering with a like-minded energy, okay? Okay, and these people in the shadows are those whom you left behind. Okay, but this is you gathering with that like-minded energy, bringing you into more prosperity and more happiness, more contentment and peace in your life. Later.